It's that time again where we look at all the stock that's being cleared out through Poundland because it didn't sell at full price. And we start off with some Star Trek figures. Hooray for Star Trek! It's the continuing voyages of the USS Enterprise as they boldly split infinitives where no infinitive has been split before. Yes, these are obviously the same scale as the old Star Wars figures, and they are a tie-in with the first Star Trek film from J.J. Abrams, so little Johnny can recreate his own lens flare-riddled battles at home. And it comes in very, very impressive packaging, and it should, because the price for these originally was ludicrous, something like £6 or £7. Anyway, Playmates, show us what you got. This is Cadet Chekhov and his crazy accent. Includes utility belt, phaser, data tablet and gold Starfleet emblem figure stand. Exciting. Figure base doubles as wearable Starfleet badge. Oh, my God, my hands are shaking with excitement. Right, what's the figure actually like then? It's alright, it looks a bit like him. It looks like he's completely slathered his face in latex paint, but there is a vague resemblance, and they've got his hair about right, I think, from what I recall. And there he is wearing his cadet's uniform, or whatever. Right, what else are you trying to sell us then, lads? Galaxy Collection. Meaningless. Each figure comes with unique accessories. I'll bet that's what we call a lie, because I've got enough to know that's completely untrue, actually. Kirk. There he is. Chris Pine. Is not represented here in any way, shape or form. That's an appalling likeness and everyone involved should be killed. Original Spock, yep, looks like he's half dead, that's about right. Spock, that's Sylar from Heroes with a tiny, tiny round head. Scotty there, that's apparently Simon Pegg. Sulu, that's Harold from Harold and Kumar. Pike, that's that bloke who's in things but you wouldn't tell from that figure. Cadet McCoy is apparently Carl Urban, but I'm not entirely convinced of that. Uhura has skinny, stick-like arms. Here's Cadet Chekhov again. And crappy semi-baddie Nero, who nobody cares about. So if you did collect all the set at home, the only battles you could actually play are basically Starfleet versus Starfleet, because there's like 28 of them and one enemy. Why do you do that, action figure manufacturers? Anyway, let's see what it's like inside, shall we? Answer. Figurey. Yep, he's got his iPad and his fantastic base, which doubles as a badge. What a piece of shit. A rubber belt, which goes around that he can store his deadly phaser gun in. Well, at least it looks vaguely like a gun, I suppose. Not like the weapons from The Next Generation, which always looked like bloody vacuum cleaner attachments or something. None of the weapons looked threatening or weapon-like at all. And I swear there was one episode where they were holding torches, and rather than having handles, they had to hold it out in a hand like that, so you get dreadful cramp. I mean, what the hell? Did sensible design disappear somewhere in the future? Anyway, that's irrelevant. Hello, Chekhov. You look a bit, yeah, like you're going to see the Rocky Horror Picture Show and have got dressed up, actually. Good for you. Let's have a look at some of the other figures on offer. Unfortunately, by the time I got to Poundland, so I was selling these off about 6 months ago, they seem to have sold out of Kirks and Spocks and things, and so I've got just some of the more obscure ones. Hey, look, everyone! It's that Bones McCoy bloke, the actor Carl Urban, who also played Judge Dredd. I don't think he played Judge Dredd wearing quite as much foundation, that shade of lipstick, or with quite those boss eyes, though. I am the law, I think. What the hell? Actually, I'm just going to show that again, just in case you didn't get quite the beauty of it the first time round. How much were these again? Oh yeah, too much. There we are, there's his iPad and his sonic screwdriver, no idea. Also, one of his legs is all bent up, so well done. You spent a fortune on the packaging and packaged him in such a way that it gets damaged. Good work. That'll need to be heated up in hot water and re-bent. Well, the articulation is weird. It sort of bends, but feels sort of oddly fragile and doesn't quite bend the way you'd expect it to. Would he actually be able to sit in something? Yeah, just about. Well, it's something. It's better than just having crappy old-style Star Wars figure articulation, I suppose, but not massively impressed with that, mostly because of his ridiculous lipstick that makes him look like he's escaped from a John Waters film. Anyway, who's next? Harold! Hello, Harold. You've got a tiny little head and a huge barrel chest. Good for you. Looks a little bit less made up than poor old Carl Urban there, but it's all right, I suppose. Hideously bent leg, though. Old Sulu's not going to be doing much running around with his sword looking like that. And finally, everybody's favourite, the beautiful man himself, Simon Pegg. Except It looks more like Simon Pegg as if he's been... What's that film? The James Bond film where he goes to Japan. You Only Live Twice? There's an awful scene where they do Sean Connery up to try and look Japanese and just sort of make his eyes thinner and paint him a bit yellow. It's absolutely appalling. That looks like what they've done to this chap here. I don't know what it is, actually, about Simon Pegg action figures. Maybe he really upset the Action Figure Sculptors Union at some point, but all the figures of him seem to be awful. The Shaun of the Dead ones look a bit mutant. This is, well, absolutely pathetic. And the one of him from Doctor Who, my God... it's absolutely terrifying. To the extent that I was looking forward to the figure of him from Doctor Who, because obviously being a bit similar to him facially, I could have painted it and pretended it was me. Nope, it's so hideous, it was not possible. And I ended up just getting one of John Sim and painting a beard on it. Anyway, that's not relevant. Goodbye, Star Trek. I've just noticed I've got two different types of stands. Crappy and slightly less crappy. When I say slightly less crappy, I say that guardedly. Right, I'm going to clear this off and get some different figures. Now, Star Trek, of course, is a property from years ago that they recently brought back for a blockbuster film. And in total contrast to that, we've now got a property from years ago that they brought back for a blockbuster film. Welcome to Tron Legacy! It's that cool-looking 80s film that didn't make a lot of sense, except now it looks different, but still pretty cool, but just kind of different, and the plot makes no sense whatsoever. Welcome, Sam Flynn. He's a man who's been eaten by a computer. Happens to us all, usually on Facebook. Try me, it says. Yes, let's prod his chest. Nothing. There we are. They've got LEDs in them. Spoiler. Yeah, figure lights up, basically. This was the big thing of the Tron Legacy figures. Again, we're looking at sort of Star Wars figure size, except these were even more expensive. These were ludicrous, like £8 or £9 each. And yes, every single one of them, ended up in Poundland. Got to say, the face on it isn't looking too great, but we'll come back to that. So, what are they trying to flog us on the back? Figure lights up, fully articulated. Great. I haven't been so excited since something extremely dull happened. Sam Flynn, mid-20s and the son of Kevin Flynn. He is smart, confident and charismatic, as well as self-consciously fearless. He has an adventure, yeah, alright, he's an arsehole, let's get on with it. Sam is pulled into the Tron system, tested in a series of gladiatorial games, and eventually escapes and reconnects with his long-lost father. Oh, well done, no, we haven't got to bother watching the film. Thanks for that, toy manufacturers. Contents: 1 Sam Flynn, not the figure, the real person, 1 base, 1 identity disc, 1 baton, and 1 user instruction guide, which probably goes along the lines of press button on back. Collect all Tron core figures. I managed this, with the exception of 1. Sam Flynn, Clue, Rinsler, Blackguard, Jarvis, not the one from Iron Man, Quora, pardon, and Castor. Now, Castor was quite an interesting character. It's old Michael Sheen doing something very, very bizarre with a sort of strange David Bowie-esque character. Looks like he was having a lot of fun in the film. Unfortunately, most people watching it weren't, from my experience of the viewing. But anyway, yes, he was good, and you won't be seeing a figure of him probably ever, because they weren't actually released. They did produce one, but it never made it to the shops, and it's worth a fortune if in the unlikely event you do come across one. But yeah, got all the others. Poundland, too expensive, nobody bought them, ended up in Poundland. That's how these things work. Right, Sam Flynn. My God, the instructions, I'd forgotten how huge these were. Bloody hell. There we are, and all this basically saying you can replace the batteries. Thanks for that. That's probably half the budget for the figures gone. Right, come on, there we are. Sam Flynn, yay, with his light-up chest and his ridiculous plastic head thing. Does that come off? Because it makes his face look mutant and weird. It makes him look a bit like a bulldog, actually. Does it come off? Yeah. No, it looks kind of attached, actually. But that's not going to stop me breaking it off, because I'm that kind of person. Oh. Okay then, yeah. Actually, I know from experience I shouldn't be pulling these figures particularly hard. I'll show you why in a minute. But yeah, the articulation's kind of weird. It works okay for the arms, but the legs are sort of a bit oddly positioned, and the figures kind of look awkward no matter what you do with them. And yeah, that head is just, well, it's a thing, but that could be anybody under there, which is quite good. You can pretend it's you and you've got your own action figure. And the button in the back is a bit of a problem. Actually, they've sort of got this barrel-chested thing going on due to the batteries in it and the what's supposed to be the identity disc they fight with in the back is kind of, yeah, jutting out a little bit, one could say. Right, you sit over there and we'll look at your exciting accessories. A stand. He stands on it, presumably. Such excitement. What's next? Oh yeah, the identity disc, or small plastic donut. And... the fuck is that? A licorice all sort? What? What was that? It said something on the back, didn't it? One baton. Oh right, that's a baton. Is it? No, it's a bent piece of shit is what that is. Or does it stick on his leg here or something? Why? Why does he want a stick stuck on his leg? Brilliant, in case he gets hungry for a licorice all sort later. Anyway, you go sit over there, Flynn, and whine, because Jeff Bridges hasn't come to pick you up from soccer or something yet. Here is the naughty bad man of the film, Clue. And look, they had lightsabers in this one for some reason. Now, Clue didn't seem to be quite as well made a figure as old Sam over there. Press the button in the back and hey, chest lines light up and all that excitement. But when I tried to turn the head from left to right, it came straight off. Hence why I've had to reattach it with blue tack. So if I'd paid like £9 for that, I would be extremely displeased and also probably quite poor. So yeah, not particularly impressed with the whole... actually the whole thing is now falling to bits now, the head's come off. Well, that's how that works inside, apparently. I'm not... yeah. If you'd given this to a small child, that would have lasted about 0.4 of a femtosecond before collapsing into its constituent parts. Brilliant. Actually slightly flabbergasted by that. Hey, LED. Also, I've been keeping these in a drawer since I bought them about 6 months ago. Pulled this one out. The hand's broken off, and it couldn't even find it in the bottom of the drawer. It's down, it's in there somewhere. But all I did was put it in a drawer, and that was enough for it to break. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, anyway, this is one of Clue's evil black guards. Look, I'm like one of those aliens from that PS3 game that was disappointing. Lights up, 4 spots on the chest. Got weird sticks in the arms. Got weird sticks in the legs. Quite keen on the weird sticks. Brilliant. Who else have we got then? The love interest, Quora. Great. I don't know if the actress didn't give her likeness or something, but she's got this kind of weird helmet thing going on. Fair enough. There we are. She's got a thing in her chest that lights up, along with a couple of V marks along her skirt. And it doesn't really work, that light up thing, because the rest of it is obviously painted on, isn't it? But, well, it's the most they could do, I suppose. And it's also got the world's most uncomfortable looking shoes, which she would probably be incapable of walking in, let alone performing massive action scenes. But hey, lightsaber. And it's Rinsler, who's like an evil person who works for Clue, but isn't one of the guards, and is quite obviously Tron, because it lights up with the T logo. And in the film, they're constantly dropping hints that he's obviously Tron. So, Tron went evil. Then he went on the sofa. And finally, we've got good old Jarvis. There he is. He's sort of Clue's weird, bald, vaguely effeminate bloke who walks around and does computer admin or something. He actually comes with some sort of space clipboard. I bet every kid was dying for the figure of this one. Hey, I want that totally inconsequential character, you know, the one who doesn't do anything and looks like an administrator or something, comes with his own clipboard. It's going to be oh. Actually, I've changed my mind. And this is why the figures ended up in Poundland. Can I snap that thing off his head? I could do, but it would probably damage it quite badly. Well, they're actually quite solidly made, with the exception of these one, not that one. This one, with this bizarre shattering handpiece, and the Clue thing where you try and turn the head and the entire fucking thing collapses. But other than that, yeah, marvellous. Hey everyone, get a Clue. Right as the film didn't. I'm going to cheat a bit on the end, actually, and add a figure that didn't come from Poundland at all. I picked up for like 2 or 3 quid somewhere. Again, being sold off because it didn't sell. It's a giant one, look. Much bigger. But these are interesting because they not only talk, but have this weird facial feature that I shall now demonstrate. There is a button under the armpit here you press. Oh, look, the identity disc thing actually sticks to the back in this one, as opposed to just looking like a weird lump. Now watch this. So, you like bikes? Yes, it's a sort of weird grooming Jeff Bridges. Don't quite know what's going on there. But as you can see, it does sort of a weird flash up and slightly moving face thing, and is very, very spooky, to be brutally honest with you. Very strange feature, but hey, it was a bit different. Let's have some more from the big Lebowski. No, the little Lebowski. The dude.
Flynn lives.
Great. Good for him. I don't know if you have seen the film. Here's a hint, don't. But it has in it, well, this Clue character is supposed to be a young Jeff Bridges, and it has this terrifying head where they've tried to CGI out of nowhere a young Jeff Bridges, and it hasn't even reached the levels of the Uncanny Valley. It just looks like a sort of weird lump of putty. And it says this.
You'll get the reward you deserve.
Yes, you'll get the reward you deserve. Good for us.
Greetings, programs!
Greetings, programs! I'm the man with the scary face. Any more?
Out there is our destiny.
Rugrat is our destiny. Rugrats is our destiny? Is that the idea? They're going to find a DVD and watch some classic animation?
So, you like bikes?
And we're back to that. It's just a coach. I wonder what this looks like in profile.
Greetings, programs!
Answer, not very good.